It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to another episode of the Mike Prince Show. Of course, our mission is to bring you daily content that you can use. Today would be no exception to the rule. Our social media handles for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at the Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel, Open Mic Broadcast Network. We have a website, obnradio.com, and our 24-hour dial-in message line, 713-570-6736. We got a pretty good show for you on tonight. We'll hear from head basketball coach of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, Byron Smith. New rules and dates are set from the NCAA. We'll hear from him to get the latest and the greatest reactions. Of course, we got a lot of football to talk about. A big announcement, probably the worst kept secret in all of Swac conference information about a press conference. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. But instead of me yapping and japping, let us break off into tonight's episode. And before I go any further, the Atlanta Falcons. Oh my God. Just total collapse. Unbelievable. Unreal. And it just is what it is. You cannot worry about it. But if anyone knows what epic collapse is, has to be the Atlanta Falcons. I thought I was watching Super Bowl 51 all over again. But nonetheless, it is what it is. Chalk one up for the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Does this validate that Dak should get paid? Open up that checkbook, Mr. Jones, and pay the man. Or do you just draw that up to luck of the draw, fluke, coincidence, or Atlanta being Atlanta? Still can't believe that. But nonetheless, we'll wade our way through. Interesting how these things go. That's why they play the game. But to be quite honest with you, you can see the difference in the quality of play, even on the professional level, without the preseasons. And you figure if this thing holds up by week 4 or 5, you should start seeing some more well-executed games amongst the NFL ranks. College, same way. High school, they're about to hit their stride right about now. We are going to hear from Byron Smith momentarily, but since I did bring up the high school circuit, we might as well go ahead and hear some Friday night football results throughout the world of Waller County, Texas, and surrounding areas. So we'll take a break with that, come back, and get ready for our guest on tonight, Coach Byron Smith. How about that? The results of your Friday night football action from Waller County, Texas, and the surrounding areas. Somerville falls short to Granger by the score of 20-17. East Bernard falls short to Schreiner 13-7. Iola 18, Burton 7. Hallisville overpowers Rice by the score of 59-7. El Campo 55, Wharton 35. Sweeney Bulldogs victorious over the Hempstead Bobcats by the score of 56-38. Sealy squeaks past Stafford by the score of 12-10. The Brahmas of Belleville appear to be too much for Rockdale, victorious 42-14. Giddings had no problem with Caldwell, winning by the score of 50-14. Hargrove blanks Navasota by the score of 12-0. Addison Shiro falls short to Trinity by the score of 14-12. Schnook takes care of Milano by the score of 22-7. Those are your Friday Night Football results on the high school circuit. Be sure to join the Open Mic Broadcast Network for your weekly updates of high school sports in the surrounding area. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie v. Texas.
Hello, this is Alonzo Hardy Jr., the president of the Swac Alumni Association. The Swac Alumni Association is an organization founded on December 10, 1999, at the Sheraton Hotel in Birmingham, Alabama. Its mission is to serve as a rallying ground for individuals who have made the Southwestern Athletic Conference the illustrious conference that it is today. Its membership is open to former student athletes who played in the conference in any sport, as well as to coaches, athletic administrators, staff members, game officials, and fans. Annually, the association holds a Legends Awards and Roast Banquet or luncheon where it honors individuals with Lifetime Achievement Awards, a Chuck Prophet Wackenmaster Award, and occasionally a Distinguished Service Award. Proceeds from that event help to finance degree completion scholarships for student athletes who have exhausted their playing eligibility at Swac universities, but who may still need an extra semester or two to complete their college studies. For more information on the Swac Alumni Association or to get information on becoming a member, you can send correspondence to Swac Alumni Association, 875 Miller Creek Lane, Newport News, Virginia, 23602. The email address is swacalumuniassociation@yahoo.com.
Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union has 13 different locations to better serve you. Locations in Rosenberg, Missouri City, Katy, College Station, Bryan, Brenham, and Waller, Texas. For more information, you can contact them on their toll-free number, 855-391-2149. Or you can send an email to information@bvscu.org. And welcome back to the Mike Prince Show Live, right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We heard some high school football wrap-ups, but now we're about to gear ourselves to basketball. We have on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union hotline none other than head basketball coach of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, and might I add, back-to-back Swac champions, Coach Byron Smith. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Doing well, Mike, and yourself?
Oh, man, look, I know we're going to talk some basketball, but I know if there's no one who is a huge Cowboy fan, it is you. And all I can say is what a collapse by the Falcons, huh?
Depends on how you look at it. I think we finally woke up. How about them Cowboys?
That's probably the most typical thing that I expect. But you know what? I'm going to ask you this. If you're like me, I know quite a few Cowboy fans. Did you watch it to the end, or did you turn? When did you turn the set off out of frustration, saying, "Oh well, we blew another one"?
Well, Mike, true Cowboy fans, I mean, they never ever turn the TV off, because even if they're not playing well, those uniforms and the star on the helmet, man, it's so fun to watch, and just it's such an privilege to be able to watch that. So I mean, the only time I'll never turn the TV off. I mean, it just goes to another game. Or goes to the wrap-up show. So I watch from start to finish, die hard since I've been 6 or 7 years old, and I've born a Cowboy fan, probably die a Cowboy fan. So,
well, despite all that, I will not hold that against you, sir, and I will still call you brother.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Well, look, we'll get back to the nitty-gritty right now. Some big news coming from the NCAA. The announcement, the target date, you can see it now, November 25th is going to be the target date to get things off the ground. How do you gather now and start getting geared up for that? And what have you picked up as far as getting you guys to ease back into game condition?
Well, I mean, obviously it's a blessing, that we are going to have a season. At least we're going to start. We have to keep our fingers crossed and stay in prayer that we'll be able to see the end of the season. Obviously, there's going to be some challenges. I mean, obviously, if you look at the the NFL just today, man, so many players going down with injuries and things like that. So I think all smart coaches will kind of, especially if you haven't done anything since, like us, since, the spring, some programs have been fortunate enough to be able to do some stuff in the summer. So they're probably not, maybe, as handicapped as we will be. But just to kind of ease your guys back into it, just doing a lot of non-contact stuff, a lot of shooting, working on conditioning, in the weight room, things of that nature. Then obviously, here within the next couple of weeks, we'll have to kind of speed it up a little bit and, just pray for our guys that, they won't, fall prone to injury. But, business as usual, start putting stuff in, your defense, your offense. We got a bunch of new guys, so, kind of getting to know them a little bit. So it's going to be a little bit of an adjustment for them just in terms of the style of play that we play at Prairie View. But I like our team. I think we've got a great group of young men, great students, really attacking the academic piece, which I'm really proud of in the first month, of school, 3 weeks to the month of school. So I think we've got a chance to, be really solid. And I think as the season goes on, I think we'll get better, and I think we'll start playing, some basketball to where the Panther fans have gotten used to seeing over the past 3 years.
Okay, we're speaking right now with head basketball coach of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline, none other than Coach Byron Smith. Now, Coach, with the target date already being established, and you said you're going to have to ease your guys into this thing, and you hadn't been able to do the physical workouts, but there's also a lot of mental and strategizing on situations. Have you been able to go over any of that during this separation, if you allow me to put it that way, during the COVID crisis?
Just kind of talking to our guys a lot and trying to familiarize them with how we do things. And we've leaned on a lot of some of our returning players. We don't have a lot, but 4 or 5 of our returning players to try to talk to these the new guys about just kind of how we do things. We'll start sitting down with these guys and implementing some film sessions this week to try to give them a little bit more of a visual as to how it looks when we actually get out there on the floor. The mental part of it, and obviously talking to them a lot about just safety. I mean, it's still important, first and foremost, safety. Following the COVID protocols and social distancing and limiting their access to the public and being in different places and things of that nature, pretty much staying in the bubble that we've created on campus. So a lot of that's been going on, a lot of verbal stuff, a lot of verbal information has gone out. But obviously this week we'll kind of start sitting down with these guys and getting them into the film room and showing them the both sides of the basketball, how we like to play. And then obviously cramming them with a lot of individual skill work, a lot of shooting. And like I said, a lot of conditioning and a lot of time in the weight room, and just bringing them along. And we've got 9 weeks, and I think that's enough time to get these guys ready to get out there on the floor and be ready to perform at the level that we think that they can.
Okay, another big addition or note, we should say, that the NCAA implemented is going to be a heavily concentrated conference schedule, of course, with the adjustment of everything, which is going to limit you, I believe, to a maximum of 4 non-conference games. And we know that non-conference is twofold on the FCS level. It's funny how people say HBCU, but really it's the FCS level because all of them in the same financial boat. But How do you determine whom you're going to play? Because I'm pretty sure it's going to be restricted to your distance and regional travel. And does that take? It has to take off the requirement for our quote unquote money gains that you guys usually have to be up against.
Right. Yeah. We've we already had a schedule already set. Obviously, obviously we were looking forward to playing, but obviously some of the games that we had scheduled were a little bit earlier. November 10th, November 12th, November 15th, and obviously with the start date November 25th, we didn't really have games right around that time. So, the schedule will be adjusted. Right now, I think we've got 8 to 9 games on the schedule. We'll just have to see how that plays out if we, in fact, get a chance to play that many. But obviously, they're within, a decent distance. A couple of them plane rides, a couple will be bus rides. Once we, get off the plane and play a particular school, we're a bus ride away from getting to the next game to play. So I think that's going to work out in our favor. But obviously, as we get closer to that time, we'll pretty much know a lot of these tournaments that have been scheduled, that they're rescheduling in terms of dates, these MTEs, and we're part of an MTE that originally was slated to be in Jamaica. but obviously they've moved that stateside to Panama City, Florida. And so right now they're in the midst of trying to get that rescheduled because, that was right around the 15th, 17th, 22nd of November. But obviously since the season's not starting until the 25th, they're trying to reschedule that. We still want to be a part of that because that's going to give us a pretty nice return on a guarantee in terms of money for our program. So, like I said, we'll know more this week and next week, the next 10 to 12 days, 7 to 14 days, I should say, as to just how the schedule is going to play out. But if we can get, 5 to 6 to 7, non-conference games, I think that'll be enough to get us prepared for that January start date of our conference season.
Okay, and so you won't have any travel restrictions as far as you know right now on how far you could go in regards to everything that's going on.
At this moment right now, Mike, I've not heard anything, with a travel restriction, but obviously, a lot could change. Obviously with the winter season coming up and flu season and all that, it's gonna be a bit, some pensive moments with this COVID thing because we don't know right now. It seems like it's, I don't know if the term improving is the word I would use, but it seems to be that the spikes are not, as the way that they once were, back earlier. So, but obviously people are a little concerned with this flu season. So right now, no travel restrictions, but, obviously October is coming up next month and obviously the 1st of November. So we'll just have to wait and see how that all plays out. But to answer your question right now, I have not heard of any travel restrictions that will impact our season.
Okay, very good. Once again, we're talking with Byron Smith on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline, head basketball coach at the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. Now, there's also been talk about the possibilities of restructuring the tournament. As we once upon a time knew it, can you expound a little bit on what your understanding on how they would do it and whether you like the way they're talking about it?
Well, you know what? We've got a big meeting coming up on Tuesday, and I think that's going to be one of the agenda items that we are going to discuss as head coaches with the conference office. You hear a lot of different things, but until we actually talk to Dr. McClellan and the rest of the Swac brass, we won't know. But all I do know is that right now it's still scheduled to be, in Birmingham, which we definitely know the direction and how to get there. So that's kind of what we plan on being again, if I may say so, and not saying that in a bragging way. But we do plan to attend. So how it's going to be structured and if it's still going to be a top 4 finish, home game, if it's going to be that way, there's some talk about just having everyone come to Birmingham, all of the teams, which, we've done that in the past, but over the past 3 years, 4 years, it's been a, obviously first round home game to a top 4 finisher. Then the semifinals will be, obviously, at the conference tournament site. So I know there's been some back and forth with that. But again, on Tuesday, it'll be a big day for us as head coaches and the rest of the conference to kind of have an idea as to what we actually, in fact, are going to do with the Swac tournament 2020-2021.
Okay, well, expect a phone call from me sometime Tuesday, huh? Yes, sir. Now, as we are expanding with the addition of Bethune-Cookman and FAMU, and this is just me because the competition is designed or should be designed to bring out the best in everyone. And I know we hear a lot of times talking about that student-athlete experience. That you're able to put on a uniform, and I'll go out there and say on a Division I platform is a privilege within itself, okay? And then to water down where everybody comes, I understand it, but I don't, if that makes any sense. And I'm thinking, I know we were at 8 that could make it to the tournament. Do you keep it at 8, or do you add 10 with the addition of these 2 schools?
Well, obviously, you could go either way with it. I'm fine either way. I kind of like both options. Just because I've experienced both options, and I think that at the end of the day, if you have the type of team that you set out to have, it really won't affect you. But sometimes, just to, be in a situation where, you feel good either way. That's just the confidence that I have, in our group, that if we play a first round game, home game, which is great for our fans to be able to come out, I do think it gives you an advantage in the past. But, Mike, here's another thing we have to look at too, in terms of that first round. If it is at home, if the situation hasn't improved and gotten any better, what if we go to a no fan type of a situation? Does that first round home game even give you an advantage? You're still playing in an empty gym, just like you would if you're in Birmingham if there's no fans. So again, I think there's it could go either way. I think I will be fine, and like I said again, I'm also preparing to be in a situation where there's limited fans or to no fans. So no matter where you play, you don't really have an advantage. It's the team that has the advantage, the team that's playing the best basketball on that particular day.
Right, absolutely. And personally, I think you can, if you just have everybody meet at the point of destination to begin with, and it can, because with the short notice travel, because as you get down to the wire toward the end of these seasons, you don't know if you're going to be at home or on the road. And then this way, if you know everybody's meeting in Birmingham, okay, let's set for that Wednesday tip-off time, and everybody just meet me in Birmingham. Used to be old saying, meet me in St. Louis, but meet me in Birmingham, and let's get this thing started. But once again, like I said, you go with the flow, but if you got a voice in it, man, you might as well put your 2 cents in, right?
Absolutely. And, if they do ask me that, obviously I'll probably be a little bit more, precise as to, what I think and what I would like, but just not to give away how I'm thinking too soon, because I know you've got a lot of listeners out there. I'm gonna keep a poker voice.
You're gonna keep a
and
poker
just say,
voice.
hey, whatever they decide to do, hey, I'm with it. But obviously, when it's more of a uniform, quiet, 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, 8 of us, 10 of us, 12 of us, however many it's going to be on the call, I definitely will speak up a little bit more as to what I think. Because it's not often, Mike, in life that people actually care about your opinion. So they actually, if I'm privileged enough for someone to ask me how do I feel or what do you think, Coach Smith, I'm definitely going to take advantage of it.
Well, please do, sir. And since you're taking advantage of it, you have these rival games, right? And I think it's a waste of golden opportunity to promote and highlight the quote unquote brand when you play your rival game, Texas Southern Prairie View, in January when the kids are still out of school. Flip that game, man, toward the last game of the season, and it can have even greater impact and intensity on the game. What do you think about that, man?
That's something that's been a bit mind-boggling that we don't take advantage of it. And obviously, I know years ago they used to have it, at the Toyota Center and various places and things like that. And I'd like to see a little bit more of a situation where it could be a nationally televised game, when students are on campus and we can pack it out. And, I think that would be a great situation, be a great environment to see on TV. If we do have fans in the future, obviously, to be able to pack it out. And obviously, if we don't have the fans, if we still could, have it, televised, I mean, I think that would be good. But when we get back to a normal, I definitely think that it should be later to where everybody can be there to watch it because it's such a big event and people really get excited about it. And I think it's good for the city. Obviously, I think it's good for both institutions. I think it's good for the alumni base. I think it's good for the nation because I think people have taken notice of Prairie View A&M men's basketball here in the last 3 years. And obviously, Texas Southern has had a rich tradition over the years. So I definitely think that they should restructure it a little bit to where it can be, viewed by all. Absolutely.
Well, when you get to that little quiet place in that meeting and you have your poker voice and your poker face working, make sure that you let that be known, sir, that is something on your wish list. All right.
I do that for you, Mike. Yeah.
Talking right now with Coach Byron Smith of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. Now, Coach, you just made a mention about the last 3 years of Panthers basketball. You came in as an assistant. You inherited a program that, less for all intents and purpose, had somewhat of an identity crisis. and you're able to come on there. And I still can't imagine me saying that a Byron Smith led team is a defensive oriented team, but it is what it is, and people do change, huh? So
change is inevitable.
With that being said, and sometimes people have a wait and see attitude or Johnny come lately, and we hear the word culture, that's thrown around like a softball, play catch with it. How challenging is it to identify what the culture is versus where you need it to be, and then not only identifying it, but how do you transfer from one to the next?
Yeah, it's obviously, anytime you go into a new situation, even if there is some success and you're taking over, which it wasn't a lot when I took over, and I think that's been well documented. Obviously, there's going to be changes, just different philosophy, and my philosophy is quite different, probably to most. But I've seen the results of it in various places, and I do believe in it. And it takes time. One thing about any type of a culture shift or change, it's going to take some time. There's been some coaches that have been fortunate to where they hit it right off the bat, and it just automatically just clicked and things start working. But anytime when there's culture changing, it's going to take some time to identify, as you say, that there needs to be a change in culture, and then you have to know to be able to go out and get the type of people that that fit what you're trying to do and what you're trying to establish. And there's some hit and miss with that. Sometimes you recruit players, and they're all good people. And they come in, they take care of their business, and for the most part, they stay out of trouble. So you can have if you don't have the best basketball players, you still have the best people. And I think we've had more good players that were good people, as opposed to not good players and still having good people. So we've been able to over the 4-year period be able to get it to where we want it. And I do believe in our culture right now. I do think it has been established, and I do think that people when they come in, they find out real quick, by word of mouth or just by introduction, that this is the way that it's going to be. And you have to fall in line, and, there's a lot of sacrifice that goes with it, obviously with our culture, because, it doesn't always adhere to having, outstanding numbers in the beginning. It's the numbers that we look to get on the defensive side of the basketball and not on the offensive side, which you've alluded to. And that's just kind of how I felt like we built our program. Our reputation is a defensive program. We're a top 10 defensive team in the nation. We're very proud of that. And that's what we sell to future recruits, and that's what we sell to the media when they do talk to us or there's interest in our program. It kind of surrounds what we do on that side of the basketball. But again, Mike, like I say, to answer the question, the culture, it definitely needed to be different. We felt like we've gotten it established now, and now it's just about being consistent, and being able to have people every year to come in, buy in, believe in, buy in. And just watch the results, and we like the results. So I think everybody in Prairie Nation, has to like the results of the past 3 years of this program.
Absolutely. Now, when we talk about what can change that immediate shot in the arm, a lot of people, of course, money is a great thing to have, but it's not the cure all. It's not the cure all. You have to have a system. You have to have a staff. You have to have the personnel, and you have to have the belief within all those three agencies that we added. On average, now you kind of went against the grain. You achieve some things rather quickly. Everybody would like their coaches that they hire to be in championship contention within their first couple of years of getting this. But just on average, what would you say would be an adequate amount of time to give a coach a chance to reestablish that culture and get into those winning ways?
3 years, Mike. I can answer that question quickly. 3 years. I'm speaking of myself. I'm speaking of other coaches. You know, the thing that's really mind-boggling, I mean, all of us want stability and security in this business for our families. But, you know, these 6-year deals and 7-year deals, you know, I'm thinking some of these athletic directors and presidents and chancellors must know that guy's not very good to give him a 7-year contract. You know, I mean, and obviously you do want to show good faith, but it should not take anybody more than 3 years to kind of shift it, to turn the needle. I'm not going to say to turn it around, but at least get it pointing in a different direction. And after 3 years, you pretty much know what you have in a coach. You can tell by the performance on the floor. You can tell, even if you're not winning, and are you in games? I mean, are you close? Is it a call here or there? You know, as opposed to being beat by 15, 20, you can pretty much tell. So 3 years, you know, that's what I, you know, give myself. You know, if I'm in any institution or any program and I'm there for 3 years, and I'm being very honest when I say this, Mike, you know, and no one's trying to give away money. But if I have a 5-year deal and after year 3, if this deal is not going in a different direction, you know, I need to sit down and have take a long hard look at myself in the mirror and probably have a conversation with my superior that, hey, you know what, you know, we may be needing to start to have an exit strategy plan somewhere. But to answer your question, I know it's a bit long-winded. 3 years, you should see a difference in that program moving forward.
Okay, now you say the 3 years. What if you're in a place that has the financial challenges that other institutions might not have? And you said, you know, you don't want to give away money. Do you give them a little bit more time since they don't have the budget monetarily to match that? Or how do you work that out?
Well, you know what? I'm stuck on 3. I accept the challenge. I think that, if you really believe and you really stand on who you are as a coach, regardless of the situation, I just think, Mike, fundamentally that you should see some different things happening. And I mean, obviously finances play a big, obviously we don't have everything that we need at Prairie View. Obviously a lot of these institutions that you they at least have practice gyms or either, let me say this, Mike, not even a practice gym, but they have in one gym, multiple baskets, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 baskets to where you can get extra shooting in and things like that for your players. I mean, we don't even have that set up, at Prairie View, and it's not a complaint. It's just being honest and being truthful, that we don't have everything that we need. But I do think that if you are able to light a fire under your guys, get them to play hard each and every night, get them to, play with unbelievable enthusiasm, energy, effort, and toughness, and their preparation is good, their approach is good, and the execution when they get on the floor is good, I think that you should be have a successful program, at least be heading in the direction of where people can say, there's light at the end of the tunnel. These guys are going to get this thing going here really, really soon. So, again, Mike, not to make excuses, we're all motivated by challenges in life. If you're a true competitor, you accept the challenge. But I'm going to say 3 years, regardless of the situation, you should have that thing going in a different direction, especially if you started out, from ground zero. And in my mind, I started out at ground zero when I took over this program. And that's no disrespect to anyone that had the job before. I just don't think that we had a lot of life in our program when I took over 5 years ago. But I do think we do now, and I like the direction in which we're going. Okay.
With that being said, Mr. 3 years, where do you project your program in the next 3 years?
Well, Mike, if I'm still there, I still like to, because you never know. But if I'm still there, and I'm saying that in a positive and in a negative, but if I'm still there, I fully think that we're going to be right there in the top of the league, competing for championships each and every year. And if not, then I have to take a long, hard look at myself, and maybe I have to do some things a little bit differently, or maybe the institution has to do things a little bit differently. But I fully expect us to be. Not saying we're going to win championships. Mike, it's very difficult. I would love to win it again this year if we see the end of the season and be in rare company of being one of the few coaches to ever three-peat. I don't think that's been done a lot in our league or any league. It's very hard to do that, but we're definitely shooting for it. But if that doesn't happen, I don't expect us to be a drastic drop to the point to where, we go from, first to worst, and then we're in the bottom 4 as opposed to the top 4. I fully expect us to still be right in contention and being one of the better programs in the league. That's my goal, and that's my prayer.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to be, as they say, supporting with the purple and gold pom-poms, saying, get it done, coach, get it done any way possible, especially to my comrade down there in your old state, home state, in the neck of the woods of Baton Rouge, and they really been huffing and puffing, man, talking about they were playing the best ball going into the tournament, and if it wasn't for COVID, this, that, and the other. And I just say, I stretch and yawn. I say, yeah, back to back, baby. That's all that really matters. But like I said, Coach, I'll do the talking on that. All you do is go out there and coach, and you sweat out them nice tailor-made suits, and I'll do the talking on that end. Is that fair enough?
That's a deal, Mike. But I always say this too, Mike. He said if. But if, ands, and buts was candy and nuts, we'd all would have a Merry Christmas. So, that if deal, if don't pay the bills, and if doesn't get you anywhere other than just, in a state of, wondering what could have happened. Absolutely.
Well, Coach, I always enjoy the opportunity to talk with you at any given time, on any given Sunday, on any given day. And we're going to give you an opportunity now to have some closing thoughts and comments. You're living the life of Riley right now. Your Cowboys win a game that if you were a gambling man, you would have lost your house and everything, thinking they could have bought that one back. And all I got to say is this: somebody needs to get fired. I will say this, Mike. The day's not over with yet, and obviously, I think that there's already been some whispers, and some people calling for someone there with the Falcon organization's coaching staff to be let go. So I fully expect something to happen. I don't want that to happen, but I think the way they lost that game, something will definitely happen. Probably by no later than tomorrow morning. Well, here's the thing. Fall on the ball, dude. What are you watching it roll for?
Absolutely. That was something that should have been explained. That it doesn't matter, even if you pick it up before, whatever you're thinking. If it doesn't go 10 yards, if it benefits either way, or it doesn't benefit you, you still pick it up, take it.
Coach,
you know what I mean?
You are a professionally paid athlete.
Yeah.
Fall on the ball. But
That's
Coach,
it.
give me some closing thoughts, man. We didn't push this thing. The floor is yours, sir. Go ahead.
Mike, again, appreciate you taking out the time to speak with us and showing the interest, and always been a supporter of the PVAMU men's basketball. So definitely count you as a friend, and appreciate all that you do. You're a very underappreciated individual, I think. One of the rising stars in the business. I watch a lot of these guys on ESPN and things like that, and I think you have one of the best shows in sports talk shows out there today. Secondly, just want to tell everybody at PVAMU Nation, man, we hope that everyone is healthy and safe. Continue to follow the protocols. Let's defeat COVID. Let's stay positive. Let's continue to support our student athletes at Prairie View. And here pretty soon, hopefully we'll get back on the floor, and you guys will be obviously be in a position where you can watch a team that's going to compete hard every night and play their very hardest, and try to represent this fine institution that we're all a part of in the highest level of fashion. So be safe. Flu season coming up. Make sure you take care of yourself. And Godspeed to everyone out there.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much. The check is in the mail. The check is in the mail. He is Byron Smith, head basketball coach of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. We're going to take us a break, and we'll come back with more of the Mike Prince Show right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Keep it where you got it. We'll be right back.
This broadcast has been made possible by the support of the Prairie View Athletic Club. The Prairie View Athletic Club is a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University Athletics. For more information on becoming a member of the Prairie View Athletic Club, send your email to pvathletic.club@gmail.com. That email address again is pvathletic.club@gmail.com. Prairie View Athletic Club, a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University Athletics.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth! I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You don't want the truth because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Join us for a daily episode of the Mike Prince Show right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. At 17 cents a day, you can make a huge impact on our local and regional high school and college student athletic coverage. We provide local talk shows, live game coverage, and much, much more. But we need your support to continue to move forward. Visit our website today at obnradio.com. Click on the PayPal button, which is safe and secure, and become a listening partner today. Will you become part of the Open Mic Broadcast Network team? Visit that website at obnradio.com and become a listening partner today. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the voice of student athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas.
Your education, your health care, your community, your future. Your vote counts for many things. Take control. Get registered. Get educated. Get out and vote. Learn more at www.vote411.org. This is a public service announcement from Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Attention all coaches. Whatever your sport is, we want to tell your story. Dial our 24 hours, 7 days a week message line at 713-570-6736. Leave your game results, team results, and player results on our 24-hour message line, 713-570-6736. Have sports, will travel. The Open Mic Broadcast Network, serving the community through faith and athletics, the voice of student athletics. And welcome back to the Mike Prince Show, live right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. I want to thank our guest on this evening, Coach Byron Smith of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers men's basketball program. He is a huge Dallas Cowboy fan, and I am just scratching my head over that. It's totally amazing to me on how that collapse happened. Unbelievable. And some of you guys are like, might not even be aware of what's going on. But if you're down 39-30 with 1 minute and 40 some odd seconds remaining in the game, and you turn around and win in regulation, something is absolutely wrong. And that's not the killer part. The killer part is, I'm going to go out on a limb and say 60% of the Cowboy fans that say they're down with them Cowboys, how about them Cowboys, had turned their televisions off, turned their radios off, and just shut it down, and were huffing and puffing. Then all of a sudden they caught the vision, oh, we won. Because I called a couple of them myself. I said, can you believe what happened? They were like, what do you mean what happened? We won? Yeah. But, you know, if you're going to be a fan, Ride or die with them through thick and thin. Because that's what being a fan is all about, right? And if we can make sure that you're going to support in season and out of season, that's what makes it all the merrier. If you can ride through the rains and storms, you ought to be able to ride when it's sunshine and bubble gum. So we'll see. Huge announcement to be made on Monday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. The announcement of the newest head football coach at Jackson State University, none other than Deion Primetime Sanders. A lot of speculation has been going on. A lot of people have been having a tug of war on who was the first to release it and who should get credit for what. But the bottom line is that if anything between now and 10 a.m. Central Standard Time does not happen, Deion Sanders will be knighted and dubbed as the head football coach at JSU, the I love. Now, depending on what side of the coin that you've been on, some think it's an excellent move, and it is an excellent move. Some say it's a splash, flash move. Yeah, it's that too. Some say it's all about the money. Well, when is it not about the money? You know, so when you weigh all the checks and balances, now let me add this in. JSU, don't get all beside yourself. Talking about stop worrying about who we hire and y'all worry about yourselves, because we all in this together. And when JSU has something that they feeling good about, they're not ashamed to let folks know how they feel. That's just the nature of the SWAC, and we know that now. Now, you can't get ultra sensitive when people want to voice their opinions that they don't happen to agree with what direction that you're headed in. That's part of the territory. And I think we need to be a little bit more long-suffering, if you allow me to put it in that manner, when people don't agree with what you're doing. That's okay. That's okay. That's what makes this thing go around. But if it works, you can't help but be a peacock. But I guarantee you there's going to be someone looming behind a boulder. I won't even call it a rock, a boulder. If in the event it does not work out on a successful side. And the first, I told you this, that, and the other, and blase this and blase that. But if it does work, will you be man enough or woman enough to admit that I was in error? It did not work. And then if it does not work, could you be man or woman enough not to rub it in? It's a two-way street. Everyone has to take a chance. Okay? No risk, no reward. Will the Deion experiment, if you allow me to call it that, will it become win-win? Well, I know one person that he's going to have to recruit and shouldn't have to recruit at all. It's going to be his son. He was already committed to Florida International University. And I know they're sweating bullets right about now, because you can kiss that one goodbye, baby. Son, you're coming over to JSU. And let's go over here and get it done. That has to be a no-brainer. And to show you the clout and the already backing that's going to be coming with the Deion edition, Under Armour has already let it be known that in the event Nike want a clown, we'll take care and help you guys get over that hump. So now Nike might have some rocks in their jaws. And here's another thing. If you are JSU, do you switch all of your attire to Under Armour? Or do you make it a football exclusive only deal? That will be something to keep a monitor on. You can never tell what is going to happen with this. I'm excited for a couple of reasons. A, there will never, ever, ever be a media day like you've ever seen whenever media days reconvene at the Southwestern Athletic Conference with Deion Sanders in the house. I can guarantee you that. The exposure, not only for JSU, but for the Southwestern Athletic Conference, is going to skyrocket. A lot will be waiting to see if it's going to be successful, Others are going to be waiting to see if it's going to fail. But whatever the case may be, it's going to draw attention to JSU and to the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Will you be able to stand the rain, to stand the pressure, to deal with everything that comes with it, both positive and negative? That is going to be the underlined throughout this entire Deion project. It's prime time, baby, in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. It's prime time at 1400 Lynch Street. It's prime time all over the land. What will that do for those who are here? Will those who are here be extra motivated to come in and say, no, I don't want him to get his first win on my watch? Will it increase the competition? Or, dare I say, would it increase that green-eyed monster called envy? Time will tell. Definitely, time will tell. I'm going to take a break, and while I'm on the break, I'm going to give you a chance, if you want to chime in with the little time we have left, to discuss the Deion project or the Cowboy collapse. Give us a call at 936-333-5256. 936-333-5256. Let us know what you think. We're going to take us a quick break. And when we come back, we'll hear if anybody wants to talk. You listen to the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Keep it right where you got it. And we'll be right back.
It's the Open Mic with Dr. Mike. The Open Radio and the Mike Prince Show. The Open Mic Broadcast Network. The Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Broadcasters come into our lives on radio and TV, bringing us information and entertainment. Broadcasters are there for us, but who is there for them when they fall on hard times? The Broadcasters Foundation of America provides financial assistance to broadcasters in acute need due to a critical illness, accident, or other serious misfortune. If you know of a broadcaster on the air or behind the scenes who may need our help, please share our message. Visit broadcastersfoundation.org.
Hello, I'm Dr. Mike Prince, the pastor of the Temple of Refuge Ministries located in Prairie View, Texas. I am extending a personal invitation to you to come and worship with us Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Simply dial 857-777-0000 and join us for our morning worship. In the event that you miss us live, you can always go to our on-demand center at 720-721-1558 to listen to our latest sermons and Bible studies. Temple of Refuge Ministries, where we're building the kingdom, one soul at a time. Numbers to dial again for our live sermons, 857-777-0000 and on demand, 720-721-1558. Be blessed.
And welcome back to the Mike Prince Show live edition, our final segment of the evening. Don't forget that call-in number if you want to get online with us real quickly, 936-333-5256, 936-333-5256. We had Byron Smith on earlier talking about the basketball start of November 25th, 2020. And the cause and effect that it'll have. Of course, we talked about Deion Sanders on the last segment and what could, should, just about would happen tomorrow morning, Monday morning, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, the announcement. And speaking of announcements, the Big Ten has put their vehicle in reverse, and now it seems that the Pac-12 is going to do the same thing. Talks now of these two conferences coming together to try and get some fall competition. Is it the pressure? Is it the money? Or is it for the love of competition? I really think it's a little bit of all three. You know, any competitor will always be a competitor, even when he can't compete. What am I saying? If you've competed on any level, once it's in your blood, you'll be a competitor and can be competing, even if it's only with yourself. You're going to always be in competition to get better, do better, sound better, look better, feel better. Those are all competition-driven things. And of course, needless to say, of the financial gain, especially on the Power 5 FBS bracket. Make no mistake about it, there is a lot of money to be made. And the money will be made. And what people are seeing with or without your participation. So now the Big Ten and the Pac-12 are taking another look at this thing and saying, you know what? We might not be able to get the full advantage of a full season, but let me grab what I can while I can. And then, of course, the obvious piece would be that from the political pressures that come to be. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, green tea, left tea, right tea. Politics is going to always have a role, whether you want to deal with it nor accept it, when it comes to the world of athletics. It just is what it is. Now, how involved the politics become, to be honest with you, is going to be on the bigger the stage is. Because whether you want to accept it or not, we know there are obviously political power moves on the Power 5, just like it is on the Group of 5, just like it is on FCS, just like it is on HBCU, just like it is on NAIA, just like it is in high school, just like it is in Pee Wee football. Power moves are being made everywhere. So let's not be totally naive. We took some polls this past week. 57% of you believe the Washington football program will win the NFC East. 100% of you believe that the New Orleans Saints will win the NFC South. We hadn't done the other divisions yet, but we will get them to you as soon as possible. Some of you have even responded that you would not like to see men's volleyball, even though the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, the SIAC, will be introducing men's volleyball in the 2021 campaign. Also, surveyed you guys asking about the Nuggets and the Lakers. You said the Nuggets had a 50% chance of winning. Okay, if I took that poll again, I wonder would the numbers be the same. But nonetheless, it is what it is. Don't forget, we do have a 24-hour dial-in message line, 713-570-6736, that you can dial and leave your thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns about anything going on in the world of athletics, whether it be on the Pee Wee circuit, high school circuit, JUCO, 4-year circuit. We want to hear about you and your favorite sports club. 713-570-6736. I am going to exit stage left. I want to thank Byron Smith for being our guest on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. Thank you guys for joining in, listening with us on today. Thank you for all the emails. Thank you for all the texts and the dialogue that we have throughout the course of the week. It is always a joy and a pleasure, something I do not take for granted, and remind you constantly that we could not get it done if it were not for you. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. I've got to go. But until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.